Donald Trump is coming out of yet another needless rake-stepping moment where while giving the Presidential Medal of Freedom, that's the highest award that can go to a civilian, he decided to say that it's better, much better, than the Medal of Honor that goes to vets, okay? So he said that. A lot of people are like, that's not only super weird, but why are you insulting the vets? Like maybe you think it's better, even though I've literally never heard anyone say that or heard anyone rank them in the first place, but why would you say it out loud? Well, he was asked about it, so let's go to his attempt to maybe dig himself out of this hole.
Many veterans are upset about that, including here in Pennsylvania.
No, I didn't hear that. I only heard, when I say better, I would rather in a certain way get it, because people that get the Congressional Medal of Honor, which I've given to many, are often horribly wounded or dead. They're often dead. They get it posthumously. And when you get the Congressional Medal of Honor, I always consider that to be the ultimate, but it is a painful thing to get it. When you get the Presidential Medal of Freedom, it's usually for other things, like you've achieved great success in sports or you've achieved great success someplace else. When you get the Medal of Honor, generally speaking, and I've met many of them and I've seen the families of many of them, this is an incredible honor, but it was a statement that is much more painful to get. More painful to get.
That's not what the original statement was. I will say that statement right there was painful to hear. This again, I understand that the angle is, no, I'm saying it's bad to get it because you were hurt or whatever. But then you're like, and then the other one, it's success in sports. It's so much better. But again, like that has nothing to do with the qualifications for the award. And why would you say any of this, even if you thought of it?
Why did Sarah Palin get ruined for saying exactly these same things if Trump's not gonna get ruined? That was it. This wasn't about like what news you watch. This was about medals you give away. That he would, this is him not knowing it. That felt like him trying to be like, they asked, what kind of news are you watching? He goes, I don't know, all of them. I read it, all.
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
And it's the kind of thing that it's an indicator, I think, of whether Trump still has the riz or not. And he doesn't, because the thing about Donald is that he would just push through it no matter what negativity surrounded him. The more you see videos of him trying to justify his gaffes, the more on the back foot he is in the overall riz game of running for president.
Well, I think, so what he has always had, the characteristic he has is that he faces less consequences for the things that he does or says than literally anyone else. And I feel like he's getting more pushback. And I don't think he's equipped to really deal with it because he has never really had to deal with it. And the fact that he's getting the pushback and he's losing, he can't take either of those things.
Yes.
And he's older, has less energy, and his brain is mushier than it used to be. So he's just, in a lot of ways, he's in it's a perfect storm of it not being a good environment for him. And I just want to remind everyone that what started this was, he was talking about the fact that he had given that Presidential Medal of Freedom to Miriam Adelson, Republican mega donor, because her and her husband gave tons of money to Republicans. So they get the highest civilian award, and that's better. So he's hanging out with Richie Riches at his golf club, talking about giving awards to people simply because they're rich and they gave money to other rich people. And then meanwhile, those vets, they got blown to pieces.
And this is just in line. It reinforces previous narratives that people have about Donald Trump when he says stuff like, I like my heroes who didn't get captured.
Yep.
It is that exact same brand. It's more plaque on the inside lining of his political, riz pipeline.
It's a bit of a prediction there. So yes, he said that. There was the report specifically, and I bring this up because it's so similar to what he said about the awards, that he didn't want wounded guys in a military parade, quote, doesn't look good for me. And of course, he said a million things about thinking they're losers and suckers, and why would it, and they had the bone spurs, so he didn't have to go. It's like just add another page to the book of him just having no respect whatsoever for vets throughout his entire life. And I'm sure there's many right-wing vets that don't see it as an insult. They are inoculated against it, ironically, but it seems super weird to normal people.
Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.